Hello there. Thanks for stopping by Max's Cards and Dice Dugout. This is episode 151. And this time out, we are at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for game number 52 of the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Oldtimer Kings King of the Hill tournament, which has a 1960 Pittsburgh Pirates hosting the 1950 Philadelphia Phillies. It's a Keystone State matchup in this one. Now, before we get to taking a look at the Hill and the starting lineups, I got to talk a little bit about the last game. The end of the game, there was a little bit of very slight controversy in the comments. So there's 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th with Rocky Colavito on first base. Norm Cash comes up to the plate, and the role of the 3-die comes up as a catcher's card X. So, Smokey Burgess is a 4. I had rolled a 1. I rolled a 1. And the result for a 1 is a strikeout. And that's what I should have called. But I decided to be clever, or I thought I was being clever, and tried to add a little flavor to it, saying it was a drop third strike, and a put out was required at first base. But my explanation of the drop third strike rule was incorrect. With Colavito on first base and 2 outs, the put out is required, although it really wasn't, because it was a strikeout, and I should have called it as such. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. That was my fault. I should just probably stick to what the cards tell me. All right, before we get to the starting lineups for this game, let's take a look at the status of the Hill. So we got these 2 teams from Pennsylvania going at it today, the 60 Pirates and the 50 Phillies. The 9-4 Cleveland Indians, the 1954 Cleveland Indians, are on deck, and 1 win away from reaching the Goodell Cup Finals. So they'll get the winner of this one. And we have the 57 Braves in the hole. All right, starting lineups. First for the visiting 1950 Philadelphia Phillies. Leading off, first baseman Eddie Waitkus. Batting second, center field Richie Ashburn. Batting third, Dick Sisler. He's in left. Batting fourth, right fielder Del Ennis. Batting fifth, third baseman Willie Jones. Batting sixth, shortstop Granny Hamner. Batting seventh, catcher Andy Semenick. Batting eighth, Mike Goliot. He's at second base. And on the mound, batting ninth, is Kurt Simmons. In 1950, he was 17-8 with a 3.39 ERA, 215 innings pitched. He is a number 1 hitting pitcher, and we'll get that card. Now for the current Kings and home team, the 1960 Pittsburgh Pirates. Leading off in center field, Bill Verdon. Batting second at shortstop is Dick Schofield, playing for the injured Dick Grote, who will return next game, along with pitcher Vern Law. He'll be available next game as well. Next game for the Pirates, I should say. But Schofield's at shortstop, playing for the injured Grote. Batting second. Batting third, left fielder Bob Skinner. Batting fourth, first baseman Dick Stewart. Batting fifth, right field Roberto Clemente. Batting sixth, catcher Smokey Burgess. Batting seventh, third baseman Don Hoke. Batting eighth, Bill Mazeroski. He's at second base and on the Hill. And batting ninth, Vinegar Bent Mizell, or Mizell. I've heard it pronounced both ways watching old film clips, but I'm going to go with Mizell. At least I'm going to try to. Anyway, in 1960, he was 14-8 with a 3.50 ERA, 211 innings pitched. He is also a number 1 hitting pitcher, and we'll get that card. All right, so all the formalities are out of the way, and we are ready to get this one underway, and here we go. And that's a leadoff single for Eddie Waitkus. Good start for the Phillies right off the bat. So Waitkus on first, nobody out. That's going to bring up center fielder Richie Ashburn. Pitch from Mizell. And Whitey gets under this one. It's going to stay in the infield. Dick Stewart's under that, over near the first base bag, and there's one away. So Wakus on first with 1 out. And Dick Sisler, left fielder for the Phillies. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to first baseman Dick Stewart. It's an X check, and he's a 4. And we roll a 7. And Stewart boots that one. Just rolls beyond first base, but it's an E3. Wakus moves up to second. He's going to hold there. So the Phillies have runners on first and second with 1 out. And right fielder Del Ennis. Here's the pitch. And that is a ground ball to shortstop Dick Schofield. Over to Bill Mazeroski, who in turn tosses over to Dick Stewart for the inning ending 6-4-3 double play. And that's it for the Phillies. So with 1/2 inning in the books, it's the Phillies nothing. And the Pirates coming to bat. Mizell gets his first fatigue point. And here comes Kurt Simmons. Leading off for the Pirates is center fielder Bill Verdon. Man, that's a strikeout. Simmons gets the first batter looking, and there's 1 away. Here's shortstop Dick Schofield. Pitch. And that's a ground ball to second baseman Mike Goliot. And he makes a toss over to Eddie Wakus for the 4-3 putout, and there are 2 away. That brings up left fielder Bob Skinner. Pitch from Simmons. And another ground ball to Goliot. Second first, same as the first. 4-3 putout, and the Pirates go 1-2-3, and we got 1 inning in the books, and we are scoreless. Kurt Simmons gets a fatigue point there. All right. First batter Mizell's going to face here in the top of the second. It's third baseman Willie Jones. Pitch. And that's a ground ball to Dick Schofield. Over to Stewart. And there's 1 away. Philly shortstop Granny Hamner. Pitch from Mizell. And he gets underneath this one. It's near the foul line at third base. And Don Hoax under that makes a catch. And there are 2 away. So 2 outs, nobody on for Andy Semenick, Phillies catcher. Ground ball to second base. This is an X check. Mazeroski is a 1. We roll a 12. And a nice play by Mazeroski. Tosses over to Stewart. 4-3 put out. The Phillies go 1-2-3 in the top of the second. So after 1.5, we are still scoreless. And Mizell will get fatigue point number 2. All right, here in the bottom of the second, leading off for the Pirates will be first baseman Dick Stewart. Here's the pitch. And that's a fly ball to left field. Dick Sisler's under that, makes the catch near the warning track, and there's 1 away. That brings up Pirates right fielder Roberto Clemente. Here's the pitch. And Pirates get their first base runner. Clemente hits one right up the middle. Makes the turn, but he's going to hold it first. So Pirates have a man on first with 1 out. And catcher Smokey Burgess. Pitch from Simmons. And that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Kurt. And there are 2 away here in the bottom of the second. And that brings up Don Hoke, third baseman. Simmons delivers. And he lines that one, but right at shortstop, Granny Hamner, for the third out. So the Pirates leave a man stranded out there. We've completed 2, and we are still scoreless. Kurt Simmons gets fatigue point number 2. And Mizell's going to face Mike Goliot, Kurt Simmons, and back to the top of the order with Eddie Wakis. Here's Mike Goliot. Pops this one up. And Don Hoke's under that. Calls everyone off over near third base, makes the catch. And there's 1 away here in the top of the third. Brings up Kurt Simmons. Pitch from Mizell. And that's a strikeout. 2 outs. Top of the third. Mizell's first strikeout. We go back to the Phillies' top of the order. First baseman Eddie Wakis, who led this game off with a single. Here's the pitch. And he hits a fly ball to center field. That's going to send Bill Verdon back a little bit. He is near the track and makes the catch for the third out. So nothing for the Phillies, and after 2.5, we still remain scoreless. Mizell gets fatigue point number 3. And Bill Mazeroski's going to lead things off here in the bottom of the third for the Pirates. Pitch from Simmons. And Mazeroski hits this one down the left field line. Makes the turn, but Dick Sisler gets the ball to the ball quickly, and he is going to go back to first with a leadoff single. So that brings up Vinegar Bend. And he squares up the bunt. And it's right in front of the plate. The only play for Seminick is to go to first base, so the sack works. And Mazeroski moves up to second. So, man on second with 1 out. Back to the top of the order for the Pirates. Here in the bottom of the third, here's Bill Verdon. He's 0 for 1. Way inside, and that is a walk. So Verdon trots down to second. We got runners on first and second now. And shortstop Dick Schofield, who is 0 for 1. Here's the pitch from Simmons. And that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 3 for Kurt, and there are 2 away. Left fielder Bob Skinner is next. Here's the pitch. Low and outside, and the bases are loaded. 2 walks from Simmons in this inning. The bases are loaded with 2 outs. First baseman Dick Stewart. Simmons delivers. And it's a ground ball to shortstop Granny Hamner. It's an X check. He's a 2. We roll a 4. And he makes a diving stop and tosses to Mike Goliot covering second. They get the force there on Skinner for the third out. So it's a fielder's choice. for Stewart. And we got 3 innings completed and still no score. So Kurt Simmons will get his 3rd fatigue point. Vinegar Bend, Mizell out here for the top of the 4th. And leading off will be Richie Ashburn. He pops this one up. And over at first base, Dick Stewart is under that. And they get Ashburn again with an infield fly. And there's one away here in the top of the 4th. Next up is Dick Sisler. Sisler reached base on an error back in the 1st. There's a ground ball. X-check to second base. And that's Bill Mazeroski. He's a 1. And we roll a 10. Nice play by Mazeroski over to Stewart. 4-3 put out, 2 away. So 2 outs, nobody on. And right fielder Del Ennis. Ennis hit into a double play his first time up back in the 1st. Here's a pitch. And he lifts this one to deep right field. Sends Roberto Clemente back to the wall, where he makes the catch for the 3rd out. Phillies go 1-2-3 here in the top of the 4th. And after 3.5, the score is still 0-0. Mizell gets fatigue point number 4. And the first batter Kurt Simmons is going to face here in the bottom of the 4th is Roberto Clemente. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to second base. It's an X-check. Mike Goliot's a 3. We roll a 19, which is probably going to tell me to roll again, I believe. Yes. We roll a 3. And that one gets by Goliot. Rolls into right field. Scorer calls it a hit. And Clemente leads off the bottom of the 4th with a single. So he's on first. Nobody out. His stealing is a D. So he's not going anywhere. And Simmons delivers to Burgess. He lines this one right at Eddie Wakis. They almost catch Clemente sleeping, but he gets back to the bag to avoid the double play, and there's 1 out here for the Pirates in the bottom of the 4th. All right, Don Hoke, 3rd baseman, is next. Hoke is 0 for 1. Clemente's at first base. Here's the pitch from Simmons. Way high, and that's a walk. Clemente moves down to second base. And that's the 3rd or 4th walk for Simmons. And now the Pirates have runners on first and second with 1 out. And Bill Mazeroski. Pitch from Simmons. It's a catcher's card X. Andy Semenick is a 1. We roll a 9. And Mazeroski pops this one up right in front of home plate. Semenick is under that. Makes the catch for the 2nd out. And there are 2 away. So here's Vinegar Bend Mizell. Pitch from Simmons. It's a ground ball to second baseman Mike Goliot. Over to Eddie Wakis. And that's it for the Pirates here in the bottom of the 4th. 4 innings complete. We remain scoreless. Simmons gets fatigue point number 4. Mizell, who was at 4, is out here for the top of the 5th. And the first batter he will face is 3rd baseman Willie Jones, who is 0 for 1. Not anymore, because he hits one between second and third base. for a leadoff single. So Jones is on first base, nobody out, and Granny Hamner comes to the plate. Pitch from Mizell. It's a fly ball to center field, but it's an X check. And Bill Verdon out there, he's a 1. Roll a 2. And he makes a diving catch out there, which freezes Jones. He has to get back to first base, but there's one away. Man on first. And catcher Andy Semenick. He is 0 for 1. Pitch from Mizell. It's a ground ball to shortstop, but it's an X check. Dick Schofield is a 3, and we roll a 13. And Schofield boots that. Second error for the Pirates. That's going to allow Jones to move up to second. So Semenick reaches on the E6. Second error for the Pirates. And the Phillies have runners on first and second with 1 out. And second baseman Mike Goliot. He's 0 for 1. Pitch from Mizell. And that's a ground ball to third baseman Don Hoke. Over to Dick Schofield, and he fires over to Dick Stewart for the 5-6-3 inning-ending double play. We get the force on Semenick at second, and that's it for the Phillies. So after 4.5, we remain scoreless. Mizell gets fatigue point number 5. Kurt Simmons is out 4 as he comes out here for the bottom of the 5th. And we're back to the top of the order for the Pirates and Bill Verdon. And that is a line out. Nice play by Eddie Wakis out there. Or down there at first base. And there's 1 away. So 1 out, nobody on. And shortstop Dick Schofield. Pitch. Ground ball to third base. It's an X check. Willie Jones is a 2. We roll a 12. And that's off Jones's glove. It's going to be scored an error. So Schofield is on first with 1 out. First error for the Phillies. Next up for the Pirates is Bob Skinner, left fielder. Skinner is 0 for 1 with a walk. Here's the pitch. He pops this one up. It's got to stay in the infield. And Mike Goliot waves everyone off. He's under that and makes the catch for the second out. But Skinner seems to be favoring his left leg. And it looks like he is going to have to leave the game. He's going to be unavailable for 2 games for the Pirates. So the injuries continue for Pittsburgh. That's Skinner. Out 2 more games. One of my older videos, considering we only have 20-man rosters, I just should mention that I limit the injury checks to no more than 3 games. But Skinner's going to have to leave this one. And he's going to be replaced by Gino Cimoli. So he'll be batting in Skinner's spot. He'll be playing left field in the top of the 7th, or excuse me, top of the 6th. So, and what is he? Simoli is a 2 in the outfield. So we'll switch that as well. Okay, I already have his card in the lineup. There are 2 outs. Dick Schofield's down at first, and Dick Stewart comes to the plate. Stewart is 0 for 2. It's a pitch. And that's a strikeout. Got him looking. That's strikeout number 4 for Simmons. That's it for the Pirates here in the bottom of the 5th. So 5 in the books, and it's still all goose egg. Simmons gets his 5th fatigue point. Mizell is at 5, and he's going to be facing his counterpart here. This has been mostly a pitcher's duel with some good defense. Here's the pitch. Yeah, that's a ground ball to second baseman Bill Mazeroski. Over to Dick Stewart. 1 out. So 1 out, nobody on. Back to the top of the order for the Phils. Eddie Wakus, who is 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to short. It's an X check. Dick Schofield, who's already has an error in this game, is a 3. We roll a 12. Nice play by Schofield over to Stewart. 6-4 put out. And there are 2 away. That's going to bring up Richie Ashburn. Whitey is 0 for 2. A couple of pop-ups to first base. Pitch from Mizell. This time he gets it out of the infield. Sends Roberto Clemente back near the track where he makes the catch. And the Phillies go 1, 2, 3. So after 5.5, score remains 0-0. Mizell gets fatigue point number 6. First batter Kurt Simmons is going to face here in the bottom of the 6th is Roberto Clemente. Here's the pitch. And that's a leadoff single for Clemente down the right field line. Excuse me, left field line. So the leadoff man is on. And Smokey Burgess, Pirates catcher, is next. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Pitch from Simmons. It's a fly ball to right field. Del Ennis, under that, makes the catch. 1 away. Clemente remains at first base. His third baseman, Don Hoke. Hoke is 0 for 1 with a walk. Here's the pitch. Make that another walk. That one's low and outside. So now the Pirates have runners on first and second with 1 out. And Bill Mazeroski. Pitch from Simmons. Man, that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 5 for Simmons. And there are 2 away. And the pitcher spot is up. And Mizell's batting. There's the pitch. And he strikes out. To end the inning, number 6 for Simmons. And the Pirates may regret not making that change, but we got 6 in the books, and we are still scoreless. Simmons picks up his 6th fatigue point. Mizell, who is at 6, is back out here. Nick Sisler. Kind of hard to, well, it is what it is. Sisler is 0 for 2. Here's a leadoff single. The Phillies try to get something going here. So man on first, nobody out, and Del Ennis. Pitch from Mizell. It's a ground ball to third base. That's Hoke. To Schofield. To Stort. 6-4-3 double play. Excuse me. 5-6-3 double play. And they're 2 away. Potential start of a rally thwarted. And here's the pitch to Jones. It's low and outside. That's a 2-out walk. Jones trots down to first base, so he's there with 2 away. And Granny Hamner, who is 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. And he lines that one, but unfortunately it's right at Bill Mazeroski. And that's it for the Phillies here in the top of the 7th. So as we get ready to stretch them, we remain scoreless. And Vinegar Bend gets fatigue point number 7. A little bit of 7-Up. And we'll get to the bottom of the 7th here. Kurt Simmons is at 6 fatigue points. It's the top of the order for the Pirates. Bill Verdon. Here's the pitch. Verdon gets a hold of this one. It's off the wall in left field. Sisler's trying to track it down as Verdon rounds second, and he is going to slide into third with a leadoff triple. Good start for the Pirates here in the bottom of the 7th. All right, man on third, nobody out. Phillies are bringing the infield in. Here's Dick Schofield. And this is a fly ball to left field. And that sends Sisler back to the track where he makes the catch. Verdon tags, and he is going to be safe at home, and the Pirates are on the board. It's now 1-0, so Kurt Simmons picks up fatigue point number 7. There's 1 out, nobody on. And Gino Simoli, who's out in left field now for the Pirates. Pitch from Simmons. It's a fly ball to center fielder Richie Ashburn. Whitey is a 2 because this is an X check. We roll a 16. Nice play by Whitey out there for the 2nd out. There's 2 outs, nobody on. Pirates lead 1-0. And here is Dick Stewart. Pitch from Simmons. Ground ball to shortstop. It's another X check. Hamner is a 2. Roll a 13. And he makes a diving play from his knees, fires over to Eddie Wakus for the 3rd out. So the Pirates pick up a run. And after 7, they lead the Phillies 1-0. Kurt Simmons gets fatigue point number 8. Mizell is still out here. And it's the bottom of the order. Semenic, Goliot in the pitcher's spot. But there is some activity in the Pittsburgh bullpen. And it's going to be Roy Face warming up for the Pirates. But right now, Mizell is still in the game. And the first batter is Andy Semenic, who is 0 for 2. Just a pitch. And Semenic gets a hold of this one, and that sends Bill Verdon back to the track, to the wall. It's way up, out of here, gone, and this game is tied at 1. Leadoff home run from Andy Semenick. And the game is tied. All right, so that might change things with that pitcher spot. All right, Mike Goliot's next. He hits a ground ball to shortstop Dick Schofield, over to Dick Stewart. There's one away. Kurt Simmons is staying in the game now that it's tied. Here's the pitch from Mizell. He hits a ground ball to short. And once again, it's Schofield to Stewart, and there are 2 away. So 2 outs, nobody on. Game's tied at 1. Back to the top of the order for the Phillies here in the top of the 8th. It's Eddie Waitkus. He pops this one up. Don Hoke is under it, over at third base. Makes the catch. That's it for the Phillies, but they tie it on Andy Semenick's solo shot to lead off the inning, and after 7.5, it's tied at 1. Mizell gets fatigue point number 9. Kurt Simmons, who is at 8, is out here for the bottom of the 8th. And Roy Face, relief pitcher for the Pirates, he's ready down there in the bullpen if needed in the top of the 9th, but let's see what happens here. So here's the pitch to Clemente. It's a ground ball to shortstop. It's an X check. Granny Hamner's a 2. And we roll a 4. Another nice play by Hamner. And he fires over to Eddie Waitkus. 6-3 putouts. 1 away. Next up, Smokey Burgess. Burgess is 0 for 3. Pitch from Simmons. It's a ground ball to second baseman Mike Goliot, over to Eddie Waitkus. And there are 2 outs. So 2 outs, nobody on. And third baseman Don Hoke. Pitch from Simmons. That's in the dirt, and it's a 2-out walk. Curious, I should count up the walks for Simmons. He has quite a few of them in this game. So Hoke is down there at first base, 2 outs. Bill Mazeroski, who's 1 for 3. Here's the pitch from Simmons. And that's a strikeout to end the inning. Strikeout number 6 for Simmons. And that's it for the Pirates, here in the bottom of the 8th. So we got 8 innings complete, and we are tied at 1. Simmons gets fatigue point number 9. Mizell is at 9 fatigue points. He's back out here in the top of the 9th with Roy Face ready. And also warming up for the Pirates is Fred Green, another relief pitcher. Okay, but right now it's Mizell versus Ashburn. We're tied at 1 in the top of the 9th. Ashburn's 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. It's a fly ball to center fielder Bill Verdon. It's an X check, and he's a 1, and we roll a 10. And he makes a diving catch out there for the first out. So 1 out, nobody on. Phillies left fielder Dick Sisler. Sisler is 1 for 3. Here's the pitch. That's a ground ball to shortstop Dick Schofield, over to Dick Stewart, and there are 2 away. So 2 outs and nobody on. Here in the top of the 9th, tied at 1. And right fielder Del Ennis, who is 0 for 3. Not anymore because he hits a 2-out single right up the middle. And the Phillies are still in business here. So he's on first with 2 outs, and Willie Jones. Here's the pitch. And that's a fly ball to deep left field. Simoli's under that, makes the catch for the 3rd out. And that's it for the Phillies. So after 8.5, we are tied at 1. Mizell gets fatigue point number 10. And that his day is going to be finished because the pitching spot is the first batter, and Rocky Nelson is going to pinch hit for Vinegar Bend. Backup first baseman Rocky Nelson. Here we are in the bottom of the 9th, tied at 1. Pirates need a run to win this one. Pitch from Simmons. And that's a leadoff single for Nelson. Pirates are in business. So Nelson's on first. Nobody out. We're back to the top of the order. And Bill Verdon. Verdon is 1-for-3 with a walk and a run scored. Here's the pitch. And back-to-back singles. This one goes right up the middle. Nelson holds at second. So now the Pirates have runners on first and second, and there is activity in the Phillies bullpen. And it is Bubba Church warming up for the Phillies. But we'll see what happens here. So Verdon is on first. Rocky Nelson on second, nobody out. And Dick Schofield, who is 0-for-4. Here's the pitch. And it's a ground ball to second base. And that is going to be Goliath to Hamner to Wakis for a 4-6-3 double play. For 2 outs. They get Verdon forced at second, but it does allow Nelson to move over the third, so he is now 90 feet away from winning this game. And backup left fielder Gino Simoli has a chance to end this one here. Here's the pitch from Simmons. But it's a ground ball. Nice play by Jones down at third base over to Eddie Wakis, and we are going to extra innings. So 9 innings complete. We are tied at 1. Kurt Simmons gets fatigue point number 10. And the new pitcher for the Pirates is Roy Face. In 1960, Roy Face was 10-8 with a 2.90. Or no, excuse me. I'm going with Fred Green. Yeah, I'm going with Fred Green right now. They were both ready. He was 8-4 with a 3.21 ERA in 70 innings pitched. And get him in here. And first pit batter he's going to face is Granny Hamner. That's Green. All right. So here we are, top of the 10th. Tied at 1. Pitch to Granny Hamner. He lines this one, but right at Don Hoke. And there's one away. One out, nobody on for the Phillies here in the top of the 10th, tied at 1. Excuse me, and Andy Semenick. Pitch from Green. He pops this one up. And Hoke's busy over there at third base here in this top of the 10th. Makes the catch. There's 2 away. So 2 outs, nobody on, and Mike Goliot. Goliot is 0 for 3. Pitch from Green. It's a fly ball to center field. That sends Bill Verdon back near the track, makes the catch with a 3rd out. So 9.5 complete. We are tied at 1. Fred Green gets his first fatigue point. Kurt Simmons is at 10 fatigue points. Bubba Church is ready, but they're going to stick with Simmons as long as they can. And leading off for the Pirates here in the bottom of the 10th is Dick Stewart. He is 0 for 4. And that's a leadoff walk, another walk for Simmons. Let's see if I can count these real quick. Six walks for Simmons in this game. All right, so Stewart's on first, nobody out, and that brings up Roberto Clemente. Pitch from Simmons. And that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 7. There's 1 away. Man on first, 1 out. Smokey Burgess. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to first base. And it's a diving stop by Eddie Wakeus. He fires to second base where Hamner's covering, so they get the force on Stewart for the 2nd out. And Burgess reaches on the fielder's choice. So there's a man on first with 2 outs. And Don Hoke. Pitch from Simmons. And that's a ball right up the middle. 2 out single for Don Hoke. And Smokey Burgess moves up to second, so he's in scoring position now. With Bill Mazeroski coming to the plate. Bubba Church is ready for the Phils. But they're sticking with Kurt Simmons. Here's the pitch. And that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 8. For Simmons. And that's it for the Pirates. So we got 10 innings in the books and we're tied at 1. Simmons gets fatigue point number 11. His day's going to be done because he is up first. Or the pitcher spot's up first here at the top of the 11th. And Dick Whitman is going to pinch hit for him. Fred Green is still the Pirates pitcher. But utility outfielder Dick Whitman is going to bat for Simmons. So the Phillies get 10 innings out of him and only giving up that 1 run. So a good performance for Simmons and Mizell as well. All right, so it is Whitman pinch hitting top of the 11th. Okay. Fred Green is still the Pirates pitcher. Bubba Church will be the Phillies pitcher in the bottom of the 11th. Here's the pitch to Whitman. It's a ground ball to second base. And that's Mazeroski to Stewart. 1 away. All right. So back to the top of the order for the Phillies, Eddie Wakeus. Wakeus is 1 for 4. Here's the pitch from Green. that's a seeing eye ground ball up the middle for a 1-out base hit. So Waitkus is on first with 1 out, and Whitey Ashburn. Here's the pitch from Green. And another base hit for the Phils. I put this one in the wrong spot. So let's move that here. Cross that one out. Another base hit for Ashburn. That's going to allow Waitkus, who got a good jump, to move to third. So Phillies have runners on the corners with nobody out here. Dick Sisler. Pirates are bringing the infield in. And Roy Face is ready for Pittsburgh if needed. Here's the pitch. It's a catcher's card X. Smokey Burgess is a 4. And we roll a 20. And Sisker lifts that one up. It's in foul territory. Burgess is under it, makes the catch. And there are 2 away. I said there was no outs, but Whitman led off with an out. So that was a foul out for Sisler, and there are 2 away. And the infield is going back for the Pirates. Del Ennis. Ennis is 1 for 4. Pitch from Green. And the Phillies are going to get on the board here on a single from Del Ennis. Waitkus scores. And Ashburn's going to hold up at second. So we got runners on first and second with 2 outs. Green gets his second fatigue point. Now the Phillies lead 2-1. And that's going to bring up Willie Jones. First and second, 2 outs. Pitch from Green. It's a ground ball to shortstop, and it's an X check. Schofield is a 3. We roll a 10. And he makes a nice play. Tosses to Bill Mazeroski covering second base. They get the force on Del Ennis. And it's a fielder's choice for Jones. That's it for the Phillies, but they do pick up a run. And after 10.5, it's the Phillies 2. And the Pirates 1. Green gets fatigue point number 3. And the new pitcher for the Phillies here in the bottom of the 11th is Bubba Church. In 1950, Bubba Church was 8-6 with a 2.73 ERA, 142 innings pitched. And leading off for the Pirates is the pitcher spot, excuse me. The bench is kind of short for Pittsburgh right now with Dick Rope being out. So it's going to be Bob Skinner pinch hitting. And Roy Face will pitch for the Pirates if they get the opportunity to take this to the 12th inning. So right now, backup left fielder Bob Skinner is pinch hitting for Fred Green. To lead off the bottom of the 11th. The Pirates trailing 2-1. Here's the pitch from Church. It's a ground ball to second base. Mike Goliot to Eddie Waitkus. 1 down. Back to the top of the order for the Pirates and Bill Verdon. Verdon is 2 for 4 with a walk. Here's the pitch. That's a 1-out single. Pirates are still in business, so Verdon is down at first with 1 away. And Dick Schofield. Pitch from Church. And that's another base hit right up the middle. And Verdon scampers over to third base, so the Pirates have runners on the corners with 1 out. And Gino Cimoli, excuse me, who's playing left field for the injured Bob Skinner, is coming to the plate. Phillies are bringing the infield in. Here's the pitch. And that's a strikeout for the 2nd out. First strikeout for Bubba Church. And they get Cimoli swinging. But here's Dick Stewart. 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. Infield is back now for Philadelphia. They're 1 out away from winning this. Here's the pitch from Church. And this is Stewart gets a hold of this one, and it goes to deep left field, and that's sending Dick Sisler back to the track, to the wall. It's way up, out of here, gone. A 3-run walk-off in the bottom of the 11th, and the Pirates win this one 4-1. 4-2. What a finish. 3-run shot for Dick Stewart, Pirates first baseman. And the Phillies thought they might have had this one in the bag, but no such luck. The Pirates win this one 4-2. Let's get some totals. The Phillies had 2 runs on six hits. They committed 1 error. The Pirates had 4 runs on ten hits. They committed 2 errors. Winning pitcher is Fred Green. And the loss goes to Bubba Church. So the Phillies are sent a tumbling, and their record drops to 5-6. You know, the Phillies were one of the teams that got off to a really good start in this tournament. They were 4-1 at one point. Since then, they've played 1-4 baseball, or excuse me, 1-5, because their record is now 5-6. And the Pirates send them a tumbling, and they remain kings of the hill with a 4-5 record, and they will take on the Cleveland Indians in game number 53 of the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Oldtimer Kings Tournament. That's going to do it for this episode. If you hung with me, I appreciate it and admire your patience. And I'll be back again in the near future with another video. And until then, take care.